Hey, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the LaserPecker3. It's a 10-watt fiber laser. It's super small, very portable, and let's just go ahead and get the laughs out of the way on the name because almost everybody is going to say something in the comments anyway. If the rest of my social media has proven anything to me, we're all children deep down on the inside. Now, this may look like it's incapable of doing things because it is so small, but it's actually really quite powerful and versatile. The fact that it's this small means it's not taking up the entire table in my garage, and I can take it to shows and personalize people's items. One thing to note about fiber lasers is this is completely different than any other laser I've reviewed on the channel. Most of the lasers that I get to use are diode lasers and CO2 lasers, both of which are incapable of really doing much to metal. You can do a surface scratch, microns deep on certain kinds of pre-treated metals with a diode laser, or you can use laser marking sprays to mark metal on a CO2 laser. Both of those solutions aren't actually ideal if you want to genuinely have a deep and nice engraving on a piece of metal. Fiber lasers are specifically designed with the wavelength to crack in and beat the crap out of metal and plastics. But mind you, this is not the kind of machine that you would use if you want to cut giant signs or templates for bags. This machine is what you want to buy if you have metal tag blanks and just want to put your logo on them, if you want to do jewelry, keychains, dog tags, cat tags, ferret tags, sea otter tags. Actually, the funniest thing that I've done, I have not been able to stop marking all of the tools in the house. Every single tool now has something very lewd written on it. Unlike some of the other machines that I've looked at in the past, this has relatively no setup. It's basically this part connects to this part, which the cords then connect from here to here, and Bob's your uncle. I have a little extra cable here because I can actually put this in and use it on my computer. Now, that's one thing to make a real big note of is they do use their own proprietary app. It is available on iPhone, Android, and now they have a desktop app that is in preview on Windows and Macintosh. This little center plate here can actually pop out, reach up under, and just kind of give it a little kick right there, kick in the jimmy. And then you have this open area down here that you can actually engrave to as well. So you can place this using the handle on top of something else that is metal. If you need like a flat surface, let's say I wanted to label a table or a larger item, and I could do that there. Now the space right here is extremely limited. But again, a laser like this is not meant to do large items. This is meant for smaller, finer items, like jewelry pieces and such. It's even further simplified by being able to drive everything from here. If you don't want to use the app, you can press this button to make a target beam show up. You can press this to basically say, go do the thing. And then these buttons here will move this laser head up and down to help you achieve the focus. Now, the focusing is definitely different from anything else that I've done in the past, where I basically had to do a measurement and drop the head to it and all that. With this machine, there's actually a couple different ways that you can achieve focus to the item you're trying to engrave. Okay, so one other really cool thing, you can also engrave at an angle. So if you just hold the handle here, underneath, there's a little knob here, and you can just loosey-goosey that, and you can tilt the machine like this, so you can engrave things like at an angle, like an iPad stand as an example. It's actually really cool. I also casually forgot to mention that it does come with tools to help you expertly place things for batch engraving. So you can screw these little guides into the plate here so you always know that what you put down is going to fit exactly where it should. So that makes it awesome. But the preview features, the portability, and how quick and easy it is to get up and running with this thing is what really does me in. Let's do a really quick project just to show the speed of it as well. Now, you'll notice that this is very raised up, and that is because it's actually a galvo laser. So a galvo laser is going to be I was a little too tight here. A galvo laser is going to be swinging a mirror inside to get the laser point where it needs to be in order to scratch or burn the surface, as it were, instead of using a y-axis gantry bar, hence the reason we can have such a small little setup. So there's the little guide bar that I'm using that come with the machine. You can put them anywhere. They just screw in to kind of keep things in place. And then the machine comes with a few of these anodized aluminum business cards. This is something I've never been able to actually work with on my CO2 laser at all because it just melts it. It doesn't do anything to it. And again, that comes kind of, with lasers in general. You have to get the right laser for the right job. A screwdriver isn't going to do the exact same thing you need a hammer to do. That's basically what it is. All right, so I've slid everything over so that you can actually see the app. I'm going to do this from my phone just so you can see how easy this is. And I have a lot of experience now with lasers, but I quite literally could have unpacked this thing and put it together and started working with it in maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So it's going to connect to it with Bluetooth. You might have heard it beep. There is an indicator along the top of the machine that'll let you know when it's paired, and it will show as blue. And we're just gonna go in and look at their existing clip art library. So they have all of this awesome artwork that's already in here. And it's really nice. I mean, you can do other things, which of course I'm gonna show you. This is just an immediate look at what you can do with the machine. So let's go ahead and pick the bumblebee. And we're gonna click next. Da, 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 da. We're just gonna do it at 1K and maybe, I don't know, 50 millimeters tall. Let's just do that. Now you'll see a preview button. You're gonna tap on that preview button and then you'll get warned. You're gonna go with that warning. You do want to don, of course, the, let's see, let's remove the cover. So down here, you might be able to see a little bit of a flicker, little flicker. You see that on my hand there. That flicker should be over what we have with the business card. So I'm gonna slide that B down to fit. And oh goodness, I can already kind of see that it's not gonna, it's not gonna fit. It's not gonna fit the card. So I'm gonna quit the preview and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna change this. We're gonna just make it 30 for the 30 millimeters tall. And we're gonna preview again. And I can just move it around in the app. And you can see, it might be a little difficult to see on the camera. Let me see if I can kind of turn off the ring light on the camera there. But it will actually show you where it's gonna go. Let me move this a little, let me pop this up a little more and angle this down there. If we're not doing it live, then what's even the point, right? Okay, there we go. Cool. Okay, so there's a little bit of a light. It's just super bright in here today. I am filming this during the day, but it's put a border around so you can actually see where it's gonna go and expertly place it so you don't have to do all this guesswork. And you can just wiggle around just like that. And then there's the focus, and you can just do this manually, and it's supposed to be 130 millimeters away from the focal point, which would, of course would be like 13 centimeters. But the other thing that you can do for the focus is there's going to be 2 dots. And that's because of the way that the mirrors are working. And so you can lift by tapping the up or the down, and those 2 dots will start to drift apart, see? So what you want to do, let's get it really further apart so you can kind of see in the video how now I have 2 dots. You want to drop that down, and you can use the app or you can use the buttons on the top of the machine. That's fine too. But you're just going to put it down until they are converging. And I have a really hard time seeing it sometimes that is a little difficult for me with an astigmatism. So I do like to come back in here and measure and just kind of get a feel for like where it should be. This is pretty thin, so focus is going to be pretty much whatever it would be against the plate. Now, once you have everything placed, you quit the preview, you click next, it's going to upload the file to the machine, and you can choose custom. I am just going to go up to, let's see. We'll do aluminum alloy, and we don't need a whole lot of depth with this. This card is so thin that you're just scraping the surface. So we're going to do 1% depth, and we only need to do one pass. Now, a pass is basically a redo. It's kind of like when you're in light burn and you're doing something with a diode or a CO2 laser, and you're like, I'm going to have to do that like 2 or 3 times to get to cut, you know, for a thicker material. So kind of the same thing here. The more times that you do a pass, the deeper it's going to go. And again, remember, it's 10 watts. It's not going to go, you know, to the Earth's core or anything like that, but it will still do a pretty good job. So we're going to hit start and just watch it. But before we do that, make sure you put on the safety glasses. Do not stare at this thing. Do not pass go. I'm not going to stare at it. I'm just looking at the I'm looking at the screen record, and I'm doing this in real time because I want you to be able to see what this is gonna look like. Like, this is just so flippin' neat to me. It's so fast. Look at how those little lasers are just like moving around, getting everything on there. Oh, and that's pretty much it. It's done. That was it. Now, if you want to do it again, so like maybe I could have gone a little deeper. So we're going to do a repeat. We're going to go back. We're going to go next. Let's do it this time. We're going to do it at 5% depth. Maybe I didn't get that quite right. Maybe I didn't have enough, not necessarily power, but force, the correct kind of wavelength to push down into that. Now, I haven't moved anything either, so that's good. So we're going to start that. We're going to hit confirm. I've got my goggles on, yes. Well, technically, you should have your goggles on, but I'm just kind of just turned my back to it, you know, because it's like the Ark of the Covenant. You really want to look, you really want to watch it, but you probably shouldn't. And now this is doing so much better right here. Look at that. That is so cool. But see, like in real time, this is what it's doing. Now, we're going to do some jewelry pieces too, so I can show you how that looks, like doing stainless steel and aluminum and things like that. Oh, wicked. Okay, so now it's done. I can turn around. And this is a metal business card that I just did. Whoa, that is wild. Okay, so now we've done this. We've done a nice B. What if we want to also go in here and just customize something, do our own text? So we're going to go B's. Or need. Autocorrect. B's. R. Awesome. There we go. Okay, and so we're gonna just, you know, set that up. You can also change, the font. Then this is the default font, and then you have all of your system fonts that are available in here as well. Oh no, I lost it. B's. Let's do that again. B's. Oh my gosh. Return. R. Awesome. All right. That's not annoying at all. I'm going to change the alignment so I can line it up right next to the B. And then we're going to do next. And let's see. Height-wise, let's put it back to 30 so it'll line up. And we're going to do a preview. Okay. All right, so there's the preview. You can see it a little better now. I basically waited to record the other portion of this until the sun went down a bit, but you can see, or at least you could. Maybe if I put my hand down, you can see there how it is basically making the outline for the portion that's going to get engraved. So I just slid it over to the side, and now it's running in preview mode, and you can see the application is clearly letting you know that it is in preview. We don't need to adjust the focus because the focus is still where it was for the bee. So we're going to quit the preview, and we're going to hit next. I have to remember that the screen here is capturing just a little slower. So it transmits all of the files over Bluetooth. And again, same settings. It's going to keep the settings that we have for this one. So we're going to hit start and don those safety glasses and hit go. I'll see there. Again, I'm speaking too quickly. And I'm letting this run real time, so you can just see how fast this is, because it's absolutely ridiculous and awesome. I'm in love with it. I know it's so small, and you might be thinking, this is super limited, but no, it really isn't. It really, really, really isn't. All right. So on my end, it's finished, but of course the screen capture is running on a little bit of a delay there, but that is really cool. Look at that. Oh, I flippin' love it. All right, so now you might be thinking, well, that's kind of limited. I don't want to use their clip art. I don't really want to do photos, because that's another option, is you can do photos at 1K, 2K, and 4K resolution, which is pretty darn cool. And then you're like, well, I also don't really care about just doing text. Well, what if you want to use Canva? I love using Canva. This is not a sponsored thing. Like, Canva is what I use for a lot of my social media posts. So I've opened up Canva to an empty canvas, and I figured, why don't we just stick something really easy in there? So we'll go over to Elements, and let's find another bee. Let's find something that's a bee. I'm going with the bee theme on this one. Why not? And we'll try to find something that is, oh gosh, of all the things to be, I don't want to be really picky. Anyway, okay, that's enough. You guys can fire me anytime you want. Okay, let's take this happy little bee. Look at this little guy. Oh my God, he's lovely. Okay, we're gonna take him. We're gonna resize him. And of course, this is going to be a little delayed from that. I'm like looking over there, and I've got it down to the fastest delay I can do. Somebody tell me how to do this better. And I'm just going to save this as an image. Once you're done making the picture in Canva and you have saved it to your photo roll on your phone, you can open up the LaserPecker app again and go to the album section. Now, I'm not going to click on that button because it's going to show you my entire camera roll, and I really don't want everybody freaked out by my foot fetish. Right. So now I've pulled in the bee picture that I just created very quickly in Canva. I mean, we all know how to use some kind of photo app. You can do this on your computer and put it on your phone if you want to. You don't need to use Canva. So I have it in here. When you pull in an image, you have the ability to use bin, which is binary, gray, which will go to a grayscale, which is great for photos. If you're doing photography, then you want to do like a dithered approach with the grayscale, and then more pencil, and then G-code is in there, which is kind of funny, because I'm not quite sure what they want to do with that, but I have a sneaking suspicion that at some point they may actually support Lightroom or LaserGerbil. So I am just going to crank that all the way to the right, so it will brighten it up. Like if you had things that were slightly gray, then it would basically convert them all to black and white. So you wouldn't have any gray elements show up, which I had with a little cat photo that I used earlier. So then we're gonna go next. It's in there. You can add text if you want. You can crop it. You can change it up. Next again. And now we go with the familiar screen. And this is when I'm going to hop back to the view so you can watch it being output via the laser once again, but on the other side of that business card. Okay, we have it in here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna set this to 40 for the height. And I do wanna preview it. And again, it might be a little hard to see this on the camera. I'm trying really hard to help you see it, but it does actually put on the surface that little rectangle so that I can see where it's going. And then I can move this around to do pretty much whatever I want. On this one, I'm actually going to center it a bit, which this doesn't look centered to you, but it is actually centered on the business card because of how I have it laid out. All right, now I'm going to quit the preview and click next. And all my settings are preserved, so we're just gonna hit go. Oh yeah, this is looking so cool. I love this. I see this is just an image that I got off of Canva and created for myself. Now, if you want to do something with the color and everything, you still have to kind of convert it to a grayscale so that it can do it on the card. But that was just a really simple example without drawing out everything for a 10-minute portion of a video to show you how you can use phone apps to create the artwork that you need and then pull it in for the LaserPecker app. There we go. And that's basically it. It's done. That is the wildest thing. Oh yeah, look at that cute little bee. And so you could do this for business cards, right? This is cool. What do we do with other things? So real quick, I'm actually gonna show you how I'm doing this next portion with the app that they provide. So this is not the phone version, this is the Windows desktop version, which they say is in a preview mode, so there's more features to come, and some even allude to being able to export the G-code. You saw something a little similar in the phone app, but in here I think it might mean something a little more. So that might be something to look forward to in the future. All I'm gonna do is put text on there that says paper no touchy, and I'm gonna be putting this on my scissors. Scissors! Right, anyway, so the good thing about using the desktop application is you have all of your fonts that you wanna use in here, not what's limited to what's on your phone. I have chosen a lovely little font called Mr. Darcy Bold. You can have more layers, you can add more things. It's a little more robust than just the phone app, but the phone app, at least for me, for quick personalizations or something that I just want to throw on there really, really fast, that works great. And again, you can use applications like Canva to create the image or whatever it is that you would like to engrave on your metal surface. So one of the things though I will point out is that the material settings are different than what you will see in the phone app. For example, the phone app actually has a setting for stainless steel and custom. I don't see anything in here for custom, so I just chose aluminum alloy. I honestly could not tell you if there's a difference, because if I use these settings and I swap the material, it still comes out the same way. But you have all the same functionality that you would expect from the phone app in here. So again, you would press preview to preview everything and get everything set up and focused, and then you would go to the engraving to actually do the engraving. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hit preview. And you can use in the app, it actually will let you move the stand up and down to focus. I can already see that the dots are way not together in here. So I prefer to use it in the app. I feel like, here, let me actually zoom that in so you can see that maybe a little better. These two dots right here are what I'm trying to get together. And so I'm gonna use the app instead of using the stand up top, because if you press the buttons on the stand, they keep going. So it's like a press down. It's not like just go lift 1 millimeter. It's actually lifting continuously. So I don't wanna do that. So I'm gonna eyeball this instead of using the ruler or this little 130 millimeter piece of acrylic I use to kind of line things up. So I think I'm gonna need to raise this up. So I'm just gonna pump that up a bit until they converge. So once we have the dark crystal convergence, which is about there, then we're pretty good to go. Now, I usually jog it back and forth a bit just to make sure I've got it just right. That's where you would probably come in and measure afterward, but the ruler that's provided goes above 13 centimeters, so it's like, well, how do I tell? So that's why I created this little guy. But I'm using that little guy to hold up and keep this level. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in the app, I'm going to move around. Whoop. Sorry. I'm going to move around the text and see if I can get it showing in the right spot. Now, it's still daylight, so what I'm going to do is slide this up instead of monkeying around with the you know, everything in the application, and just get that in there. I apologize. It is very bright in here. But then all I'm going to do is hit go for the next step, and we're off to business.
Do da do ba do ba do da do ba do ba do ba do da ba do ba do do be do ba da ba ba da ba.
Oh boy. Okay, so I did of course speed that up because what I ended up doing was doing this at a glorious 4K. So if you up the resolution, not just the depth or the power, but the resolution, that's what's going to get you a really nice deep and darker engrave on some of these metals. So like for this, for example, these are stainless steel scissors that I have from my Fumori collection. And so I wanted to do 4K to ensure I could actually see my nice little joke in there. Now some of these you do have to tilt like this, but other times you don't. Let me show you an example. So here I have a stainless steel pendant that I got. This is a blank that I just purchased off of Amazon. I have like a packet of 50 or so of these. And I decided what I was gonna do was a test just to see like, okay, can I do this at 100% power, 50% depth with 1 pass and 1K resolution? When I did the 1K resolution, this is what it looked like. And I felt like I had to turn it a bit too much to see it, especially since this is a really shiny piece of metal here. Now on the other side, when I did the second test, not only did I change the font, but I also bumped it up to 4K resolution, and it made it darker. And I mean, that makes sense. If you go from 1K resolution to 2K or even 4K, you're compacting the pixels a lot more and getting a little more exposure to the metal when it's burning it and engraving. So of course it's gonna look a little darker. So that's what that one looks like. So this would be at 1K, and then this is at 4K. You can really tell a difference. Now, the thing on timing, it definitely takes a bit longer. It took about 30 to 40 minutes for it to do the scissors. So again, it's one of those things that you know, it's a 10-watt fiber laser. It's not gonna cut anything, and it's gonna need to take its time, but it is a little workhorse. So what would you use it for? Well, at least for me, I'm taking this to craft fairs. I am going to have jewelry blanks at craft fairs. I'm going to offer to personalize all kinds of things at craft fairs, especially once I get the enclosure that is of the exact same wavelength as the safety goggles that'll go completely around it, and then people can watch and not go blind. That's kind of a bonus, right? For me, I've been wanting to engrave on metal for a while now. None of my machines can do it reliably, especially the CO2 lasers, where pretty much you're kind of beholden to whatever happens with the laser marking spray. I don't want that. I actually want deep engravings, and I don't want to have to do it by hand like a jeweler would. I would rather stick it on a machine and know it's going to look good. I want to label everything. I want to offer jewelry. I want to offer coins at times. The only thing that I feel like I could feel limited on by a machine like this is not getting depth. And that's only because it's really not meant for that. It's a 10-watt fiber laser. It's a galvo fiber laser, and that means it's super fast, but I'm not gonna really get the depth that I want out of it. So you know, challenge coins. Not going to be able to do it with this. Even if I did it 20 passes, 100% power, and like 100% depth, it is not going to happen. So there are those things to kind of consider. But between the portability of it and the versatility, especially being able to angle it so I could do things like surfaces, or even heck, you could hold it up against a surface. I'm not sure I would do it, but bless anybody who can stand still long enough to accomplish that. But all of those features, especially like being super easy to use and I can drive it from my phone, like it's a no-brainer for me. I'm really looking forward to being able to take this to my next craft fair and offer customizations for people like me who never had keychains with her name on it. I'm not bitter or anything, I just really hated going to those little beach shops and never seeing Georgia on a license plate keychain. All right, that's all from me. Feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please leave your questions and comments down below. Let me know what you think. If you have any additional questions, I will try to get you answers for them if I don't know them myself. I look forward to using this a lot more in streams especially, and in future video content. Holla!